He lives in a palace more lavish than any royal estate on earth. Its halls shimmer with gold, its domes gleam under the tropical sun, and its size? It dwarfs the Vatican. This isn't a home. It's a kingdom within a kingdom. A private empire ruled not just by wealth, but by absolute power. You've heard of billionaires. You've heard of oil tycoons. But there is one man who exists in a league entirely of his own. A monarch whose personal fortune once reached a staggering $1 trillion. His parties make the Met Gala look modest. His car collection puts luxury auto shows to shame. And yet, for all this, he remains a mystery. This is the incredible, untouchable, almost surreal life of Hassan al-Bolkiah, the 29th Sultan of Brunei. Born on July 15, 1946, into the ancient house of Bolkiah, Hassan al was raised in one of the world's longest reigning monarchies. The family had ruled Brunei since the 14th century, but it wasn't until the discovery of vast oil reserves in the early 20th century that their influence became something more, something otherworldly. When Hassan al-Bolkiah ascended the throne in 1967 at the age of just 21, Brunei was a sleepy protectorate of the British Empire. But soon after, black gold transformed it into a global anomaly, a tiny, oil-rich absolute monarchy in a region brimming with change. While Southeast Asia grappled with revolutions, democracy, and industrialization, Brunei stood still in time. And got richer by the day. And the Sultan? He wasn't just a figurehead. He became the head of state, the head of government, the finance minister, the commander of the armed forces, and, perhaps most importantly, the sole controller of Brunei's unfathomable oil wealth. But how much money does a man need before reality begins to blur? By the 1990s, the Sultan's personal fortune was estimated to be around $40 billion. But that's the conservative estimate. Some financial experts believe his total control over Brunei's oil-backed sovereign wealth fund brought his true accessible wealth closer to $1 trillion at its peak, making him arguably the richest man in modern history. And he didn't let it sit in a bank. His palace, Istana Nurul Iman, is the crown jewel of his extravagance. Translated as Palace of the Light of Faith, it's the largest residential palace in the world, boasting over 2 million square feet, 1,788 rooms, 257 bathrooms, and 5 swimming pools. There are mosques, stables for 200 polo ponies, a 110-car garage, and a banquet hall that can seat 5,000 guests. Every wall is either gilded or marble, every door adorned with priceless woodwork. And the staff? Over 600 people, including palace guards, chefs, maids, and florists, working full-time to maintain a home that, by all accounts, functions more like a luxurious nation than a residence. But the Sultan doesn't just live lavishly. He moves like a king of the skies. His fleet of private jets includes multiple Boeing 747s, Airbus A340s, and even a custom Boeing 767, each retrofitted with gold-plated fixtures, rare woods, and handmade carpets. His main jet, nicknamed the Flying Palace, is rumored to have a bathroom entirely fitted in solid gold. Even the sink. Even the seatbelt buckles. He also owns 6 smaller jets and several helicopters. And if that weren't enough, he keeps a personal airstrip just for himself. That's right. A private airport. Then there's the car collection. Sit down for this one. The Sultan is estimated to own over 7,000 vehicles. This includes more than 600 Rolls-Royces, 500 Mercedes-Benzes, 300 Ferraris, 200 BMWs, 170 Jaguars, 160 Porsches, and 130 Bentleys. Some models were custom built exclusively for him. His collection is so rare and vast that some of his cars don't even exist anywhere else in the world, not in museums, not in dealerships, nowhere. He once bought an entire Rolls-Royce factory's worth of bespoke models in a single year. His favorite? A Rolls-Royce Silver Spur stretch limousine with a 24-karat gold hood and matching gold interior. And when his daughter got married, he escorted her to the ceremony in it, drawn by 6 white stallions, like royalty from a fairy tale. Each car is stored in climate-controlled garages, maintained daily, polished weekly, even if never driven. Collectively, his car collection is worth well over $5 billion. But what's a car without roads? That's why the Sultan has built private highways and underground tunnels connecting his palaces and estates throughout the country, ensuring he never has to share the road with common traffic. And we haven't even talked about the parties. In 1996, for his 50th birthday, the Sultan spent $27 million on celebrations that lasted a month. Pop legend Michael Jackson was paid a jaw-dropping $17 million to perform 2 private concerts, one for the Sultan's guests and another for the people of Brunei. Guests included world leaders, royalty, and celebrities, flown in first class from every continent. There were diamond-studded gift bags, custom fireworks displays, and a 10-tier golden cake that weighed nearly a ton. But even that wasn't the wildest party Brunei had ever seen. That title goes to the Sultan's younger brother, Prince Jeffrey Bolkiah. As Minister of Finance, Prince Jeffrey oversaw the Brunei Investment Agency, a sovereign wealth fund worth tens of billions. And what did he do with it? He looted it. Over $14.8 billion went missing, allegedly spent by Jeffrey on a lifestyle that makes even the Sultan look restrained. He bought yachts named Tits with tenders named Nipple 1 and Nipple 2. He purchased a fleet of luxury hotels, including the Plaza Hotel in New York, and filled them with priceless art. He reportedly spent $1 million a day on women, jewelry, massages, and parties. His home in London had walls of mirrors, gold toilets, and statues of himself in provocative poses. Eventually, the Sultan was forced to step in. Prince Jeffrey was sued by the Brunei government in one of the most expensive court battles in history. He was stripped of many titles and assets. But not before leaving behind a legacy of decadence and disgrace. Yet despite the scandal, the Sultan's grip on Brunei never wavered. And that's perhaps the most astonishing part of all. The man with the trillion-dollar lifestyle also rules with near total control. Brunei is one of the few remaining absolute monarchies in the world. The Sultan appoints judges, ministers, even religious clerics. There is no elected parliament, no political opposition, no real press freedom. In 2014, he made global headlines when he introduced a harsh form of Sharia law, making homosexuality and adultery punishable by death through stoning. Theft? Amputation. Public backlash was swift. Celebrities boycotted his global luxury hotels, like the Beverly Hills Hotel. The international media erupted in condemnation. And yet, the Sultan didn't budge. He later announced a moratorium on the death penalty, but the laws remain on the books. For many, it's a jarring contrast. A ruler who bathes in Western luxury while condemning Western liberalism. Who hosts pop stars by night and passes religious law by day. So who is Hassan al-Bolkiah? A king obsessed with gold? A religious traditionalist? A silent autocrat? A benevolent father figure? In truth, he's all of these things, and none of them. A riddle wrapped in silks, driving a Bugatti, reciting scripture. To his people, he is more than a monarch, he is a divine protector. Citizens enjoy free education, free healthcare, subsidized housing, and no income tax. There's very little poverty. No national debt. No political chaos. In return, most Bruneians stay silent. Critical voices are rare. Dissent is not welcome. In many ways, Brunei is a utopia for those who obey, and a golden cage for those who don't. The Sultan himself has grown older, his appearance is rarer, his grip still firm. His son, Crown Prince Al-Mahdi Billah, is being groomed to take over the golden reins. But will he rule with the same mix of mystery, opulence, and control? That remains to be seen. But for now, Hassan al-Bolkiah remains the last of his kind. A man who lives not just in luxury, but in legend. A ruler with the wealth of a continent, the power of a god, and the privacy of a ghost. A trillionaire who doesn't need to chase fame, because history is already watching him. And perhaps, long after the oil runs dry and the gold fades, the story of the Sultan of Brunei will remain a symbol, not just of wealth, but of what happens when one man owns everything. And answers to no one.